Hey all, Bill Greenberg with PhoneScholar.com. Today is Friday, March 25th, 2011. Sorry about the late video. Sorry about this week with the videos. Just between my internet being out and a couple other things going on, it was just a real rough week for this. But I did put out what I think is a pretty terrific article today. And what I did is the CTIA show, which is basically the governing body for wireless, had their show in Orlando for the past 3 days. And there's been a ton of articles about it. But what I did is I did a wrap-up of all 3 days and all the major announcements that were out there to make it easier for you. What I also did is I added a link from the best article that I thought on the subject and the best video of the new products that I thought. And I know a lot of you saying, Bill, hey, why would you send me to somebody else to read this? Well, unfortunately, it was in Florida. I didn't get a chance to go, and my main thing is to make sure you get the most information possible on these things. So that's my number one goal. So if you have to go to someplace else to read it, hopefully you'll come back and hopefully I'll have more stuff for you. But right now that was the best way for me to do this for the people who subscribe to me on a regular basis and check it out on a regular basis. So here's a summary of what's on the article today. To check out the entire articles, please go to www.phonescholar.com, or you can go check me on Facebook and like me on Facebook at PhoneScholar, or at Twitter. You can follow me at Twitter on PhoneScholar. And peppered in here also are links to what I thought were important parts of the stories, along with, like I said, the full articles and videos. So the first thing that happened during the keynote address is Dan Hess, who is the CEO of Sprint, but also the chairman of the CTIA, announced that starting in January 2012, all phones are going to have universal adapters for chargers. The micro USB port is going to be a standard on all phones, which is great because now not only can you go from phone to phone, but if you're over at a friend's house, you don't have to now worry about having the same adapter. You can use their adapter to charge up your phone, or if you're traveling something, so it's a really great thing for consumers. Next, T-Mobile. Boy, I'll tell you what, they're not sitting on the fact that they're getting bought out. That's for sure. The first thing announced is they're not going to change their ad plans. They're still going to go on with that ad campaign that's kind of slamming AT&T. They're people who are buying them, number one. And number two, they announced 7 different products at the CTIA show going forward. So it's definitely on. And it looks like they're going to say, you know what, in a year or so, if you want to give us $39 billion, we'll give you the company. Until then, or not, we'll take the $3 billion and keep going. But until then, it's business as usual. So great news for T-Mobile customers. The first phone they announced was the Astound, which is by Nokia. It's running Symbian 3.1, which is unusual because Nokia's dedicated themselves to Microsoft, but Nokia has said they will dedicate themselves to supporting the Symbian. So that's really good. I'm not going to go into the details about these products. I'm just going to announce them and then I'm going to let you look them up because I don't want this to be a 40-minute video. Next, the LG 3D enabled G-Slate. And the G-Slate was announced back in last month at the Mobile World Conference, but this is the 3D version. It's coming this spring. 3D video, 3D playback, but you do need glasses to view them on this particular one. Again, check out the video. You can check out the hands-on video. The LG G2X, really great phone. Again, announced for later this spring. No price yet on this one either. Dual-core 1 GHz processors, just like everything else. So really good for a 4-inch screen, and it's really set up 8-megapixel rear camera, which is the key thing. Some of the other devices, they put out 3 laptop dongles, a new hotspot device. They announced they're going to start rolling out the 42 megabits per second HSPA Plus. So again, they're really going forward. Who would know that they're being bought out? And they even inked a deal with Audi to control their systems in their cars, their Wi-Fi systems. AT&T also announced on the heels of course, a huge merger on Monday. They're coming out with 2 new phones. The LG Thrill, which is basically the US version of the Optimus 3D, if you've seen that anywhere. A really nice phone. It's going to be a 1 gigahertz dual processors. This is a glasses-free 3D phone, so pretty interesting. And next is going to be the Htc Hd S7, 4.3-inch screen with the Windows Phone 7. Sprint announced a bunch of new products too. First of all, they announced that they're pairing up with Google Voice and putting Google Voice on all their smartphones, which is, for those of you who use that, might enjoy that. The Nexus S4G, the first 4G phone with Gingerbread 2.3, Android 2.3, have the near-field communications, stuff like that. So really nice phone. The HTC Evo 3D, again, another 3D phone, an Evo with 3D, 4G, no glasses required. Looks like a really great phone. No prices, coming out this summer. HTC Evo View 4G tablet, their first 4G tablet. We'll have the HTC Sense, the HTC Scribe. This is basically the US version of the HTC Flyer, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Coming out this summer, again, no prices. The new playbook, the playbooks have finally been announced by BlackBerry that they are definitely coming out April 19th. They're coming out to Best Buy, Radio Shack, Costco, Staples, Office Depot, AT&T, Sprint, and Verizon Wireless, which is about a 20,000 store distribution, which is double that of iPad. So they're really going after it. Looks like a tremendous unit. I saw it at CES. The video from CES is there. Tremendous dual-core processor, very fast 3-megapixel camera in front. So obviously it's tremendous for video and pictures. Samsung announced that they're coming out with 2 new Galaxy Tabs, the 10.1 and the 8.9-inch screens. They are going to be available on June 8th in Wi-Fi only. $499 for a 16 gig, $599 for a 32 gig for the 10.1-inch, $469 for a 16, $569 for a 32 in the 8.9-inch. This thing is actually thinner than the iPad 2, believe it or not. They made it thinner. How they put all that stuff in there and made it thinner, but it's still a 10-hour battery, honeycomb, TouchWiz, all that kind of stuff, so really great. HTC, the Flyer I was talking about, the Wi-Fi version, which again is basically the View, the Evo View, is going to be exclusive to Best Buy. That's going to be coming later this spring. Jabra put out a new speakerphone that you put in the car that you hang on the visor, Bluetooth speakerphone with 3-speaker system, and it should sound terrific. $129 coming in May. And then Verizon announced that they're rolling out their LTE to 147 cities by the end of the year. So with all their new phones coming out and all that coming out, even more to support that, they're going to have 6 rural companies around the country that's going to help them push it out to the rural areas. So this is a really legitimate thing for Verizon. That's all I got for today. Again, I'm sorry about the week, but next week I promise better videos, better stories, much more information. Have a great weekend. I'll talk to you on Monday.